Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Vedant Agarwal. Our special focus on NDTV at this hour. Bad weather throwing flight operations out of gear. Just in Delhi, 20 flights have been diverted and delayed due to bad weather. In fact, the child rights body chief complains of flight delays and how children are suffering due to delays as well. Air India, meanwhile, has blamed this on change in weather, saying that the delays are because of inclement weather here in the national capital and various other parts of India as well. In fact, right now on NDTV, we are being joined by two such passengers who have been inconvenienced because of the massive delays. I'm being joined by Shilpa first and Rajiv Saxena as well. Shilpa, going across to you first. You were on this Delhi-bound flight from Washington. How long were you, forced to wait because of the massive delays? What do you want to share with us at this hour?
Yeah, hello. It's a very bad experience actually with baby. They were delayed the flight 6 hours after boarding in Delhi, Washington DC, and then उसके बाद हम लोगों को after 6 hours उन्होंने take off किया and in Delhi उन्होंने reason दिया कि यहाँ पे bad weather है and there's some technical issues in their flight. Hello, are you getting me?
जी, please go ahead, बताइए, हम सुन रहे हैं.
फिर उन्होंने ये कहा कि चूंकि वेदर ठीक नहीं है तो हमें जयपुर उन्होंने फिर से यहाँ पे लैंड किया फ्लाइट को, और यहाँ पे आने के बाद हमें बहुत सफर करना पड़ा है. बच्चा बहुत परेशान हुआ. इवन हमारे साथ जो और भी पैसेंजर्स थे उनके बच्चों ने वॉमिट, बहुत परेशान हुए. ओल्डर्स थे, व्हीलचेयर्स का प्रॉब्लम हुआ. यहाँ पे कोई ऐसी फैसिलिटी नहीं थी. देन उसके बाद उन्होंने बस अरेंज किया है हम लोगों को जयपुर टू दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट के लिए, और वो भी नाइट में है. तो टोटल हमारा 17 to 18 आवर्स का फ्लाइट रहा है.
जी, और जैसा शिल्पा जी आप बता रही हैं,
देयर सो मच क्राउड ओवर देयर.
एब्सोल्युटली. और शिल्पा जी, जैसा आप बता रही थी कि बच्चे भी आपके साथ थे उस फ्लाइट में तमाम, और सीनियर सिटीजन, उनको बहुत तकलीफ हुई, तो उस बारे में बताइए हमें.
या बच्चे थे, बच्चे परेशान हुए हैं बिकॉज ऑफ वेटिंग, एंड व्हीलचेयर का प्रॉब्लम था बिकॉज ऑफ लैंडिंग टाइम में वहाँ पे व्हीलचेयर अवेलेबल नहीं थी, फैसिलिटी नहीं थी.
जी,
आफ्टर लॉन्ग टाइम दे अरेंज एवरीथिंग बट दे सफर,
जी. और आप कह रही थी किसी तरीके का कम्युनिकेशन भी नहीं था क्लियर, जो ग्राउंड स्टाफ था
कम्युनिकेशन भी क्लियर नहीं था. देन उसके बाद इमिग्रेशन के बाद स्टिल उन्होंने हमें दूसरी कनेक्टिंग साइट का भी कोई फैसिलिटी नहीं दिया. उन्होंने कहा वी विल प्रोवाइड द बस, यू आइदर गो बाय बस और एंड वी विल अदरवाइज वी विल रिफंड योर मनी फॉर दैट.
जी,
सो लेट्स गिव द टू ऑप्शंस फॉर.
Thanks, Shilpa, very much for sharing your story there. So, of course, already a rather long flight from Washington, no communication by the ground staff, as Shilpa was saying there. Of course, Air India says that this is bad weather and, there's nobody to blame but the change in weather. Rajiv Saxena is also with us, another such passenger. Go ahead, sir, and share your story with us, because, passengers from across India are complaining of massive delays and no communication from the airline or the ground staff.
No, I was not on the plane.
Okay.
But my friend's daughter was on the plane. And I was in constant touch with her. She was panicking, young girl. And they were first diverted to Delhi, from Delhi to Jaipur, saying that plane needs refueling. After that, they were made to sit in the aircraft for nearly an hour and a half. Then they were suddenly told that you will be deplaned. They had no idea. I had to make her stay in Jaipur, and then because she did not want to travel overnight to Delhi on the bus which they are providing. So it's a horrible experience for somebody who's traveled all that long distance and not being clearly informed and instructed what to do.
Right, and you put out that tweet as well, Mr. Saxena, saying that this is a sorry state of affairs, because this is not the first time that we are witnessing such massive delays. In the past couple of months, particularly, either due to operational reasons or change in weather, we witnessed a similar scenes unfolding across the country.
Absolutely right. And this is Air India, the flagship airline of India. So people from all over the world take Air India with a huge trust, and when they come to India, they find huge trust deficits, and they suddenly find themselves nowhere, and nobody listens to them. It was a huge chaos there at the airport. Jaipur, you must be knowing, is a very small airport in comparison to Delhi, and it's not equipped to handle all these passengers at a short notice.
Saxena, the airline would turn around and say that this is bad weather, change in weather.
No.
What are we supposed to do in this?
When I was tweeting to them, they were saying technical reasons.
Okay.
My tweet is online. You can read it.
Okay, so that's an important point there, that communication has to be clear and direct, because you're paying, such high charges for, to sort of secure your seat on that plane. And at the same time, these are long flights that we're talking about. So communication has to be clear.
Communication, passengers' comfort are the two most important things. People on board must know what is going to happen. If they're kept in dark, they panic. And when they panic, we as India, as destination, lose the trust. That's a huge trust deficit, and we need to address it.
Mrs. Saxena, thanks very much for joining us there with your impassioned appeal there. As Mrs. Saxena is saying, passenger comfort, passenger care is extremely important, and it's not just any other airline. We're talking about Air India, the country's flagship airline. And looking at some political news now, the BJP is set to release its manifesto on Sunday. The Prime Minister will be at the BJP headquarters to release the manifesto. Well, it's going to be a big day for the BJP because a 27-member manifesto committee was also formed by the Saffron Party. What are going to be the big themes? Well, Vishwa Guru and Modi ki guarantee seem to be the central themes. Apart from that, the BJP's focus will be on youth, the poor, women and farmers as well. What sources have told NDTV is that the focus also is going to be on youth loans or the Yuva loan limit to entrepreneurs.
The BJP is releasing its manifesto tomorrow. It's going to be an important day, just 4 days left for the first phase of elections. And it's not unusual because in 2019, the party released its manifesto just 3 days before the first phase of elections. What I'm told by my sources is that the focus is going to be on presenting a futuristic roadmap for the country. It's going to be in line with this vision for Viksit Bharat that the Prime Minister has already talked about, and also growth and economy when it comes to this vision and this target set by the PM to ensure that the country is among the top 3 economies of the world in the next few years. I'm told that there will also be a counter to the Congress's focus on unemployment. So there is going to be this increase in limit to the loans that are given to women and also youngsters, something like mudra loans when it comes to setting up their own businesses, because the Prime Minister has also spoken about being employers and not really employees, and that also he sees as integral to the country's growth and self-reliance. Atmanirbharta, something that he has been focusing about. The manifesto will have something for different cohorts and different groups of society, and it will focus entirely on welfareism, not freebies. Now, remember that the Prime Minister started this debate on Reddy's Vedant, and he has been against the concept of Reddy's. But in state assembly elections, where the BJP finds it sometimes difficult to counter regional parties specifically, we've seen the party actually roll out, some freebies. But the Prime Minister has always been against the concept of free electricity and those types. So this manifesto will, of course, reflect that. It will focus on welfareism, youth, women, and more importantly, deprived sections of the society, and it will be a futuristic vision for the country, especially for the next few years.
It's an important day for the BJP on Sunday. All eyes on the BJP's manifesto. We take a short break now. There's more news on the other side. Welcome back. The Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Jaganmohan Reddy has been injured during his campaign in Vijayawada. The YSRCP, his party, claims that Jaganmohan Reddy was attacked during his rally. In fact, these are visuals coming in from Andhra Pradesh's Vijayawada. The YSRCP says that a stone was pelted at the Chief Minister during his Vijayawada rally. And the party also claims that the stone was pelted while he was on the bus. And in fact, these visuals show that very moment when the stone was pelted at him. Our senior colleague Uma Sudhir is now joining us live on the phone line. So, Uma, what exactly happened?
Jaganmohan Reddy has been on this Memanta Siddham Yatra, and he was in fact passing through Vijayawada, and he in fact has spent about 3.5 hours in Vijayawada. That's when he was atop the vehicle. That's when now, in fact, seems to have been aimed towards him, and it has flung towards him, and it has hit his forehead, and he has suffered an injury. Immediately afterwards, he was administered the first aid, and YSRCP leaders are saying that he had to be given, they had to stitch up 2 stitches, and subsequently, after first aid, Jaganmohan Reddy has continued with his campaign in Vijayawada. But what I must say is that YSRCP is calling this an attack by the TDP. They are in fact saying that this area, which is otherwise considered to be a bastion of the Telugu Desam, and they say that seeing the response that Jaganmohan Reddy is getting there, Ambati Rambabu, senior leader of the YSRCP, says that this is a conspiracy, in fact, by Chandrababu Naidu and the Telugu Desam, and that it shows the nervousness in the Telugu Desam Janasena alliance. That is what the YSRCP is saying, that this is an attack on Jaganmohan Reddy because they are nervous about the kind of crowds that he is receiving. On the other hand, in social media, there is this mocking of the attack or the injury that Jaganmohan Reddy has suffered. They are, making reference to an earlier knife attack that Jaganmohan Reddy had suffered at the airport in 2018, and mocking it, saying that, suggesting as though it has been staged. But the injury is clear for us to see, and it is just a couple of centimeters. It could have hit the eye. That's what YSRCP leaders are pointing out.
Uma, thanks very much for joining us with the latest there. So, of course, quite dramatic there how the Chief Minister was attacked on the campaign trail. In other news now, the CBI has registered a case against the top electoral bond donor, Megha Engineering. Now, the CBI has filed a corruption case against Megha Engineering. In fact, 8 officials of the Steel Ministry have also been booked by the CBI. They say that Megha Engineering allegedly gave kickbacks and bribe to these Steel Ministry officials for, to forego the payments and the pending dues on the company. This was in a corruption case that was executed allegedly during the steel plant, an important steel plant, the contract of which went to Megha Engineering. And now our special report. Well, the most important measure of any election is voter participation. And even before India begins to vote in the 2024 election, some people have already cast their votes. The Election Commission announced a pan-India facility where senior voters can cast their votes at home. In fact, a 114-year-old voter cast his ballot as well. Take a look.
In West Bengal, the Cooch Behar District Administration has announced the name of the oldest person in the voters list, 114-year-old Kumudini Burman. On Tuesday, poll officials visited her home at Jatamari village of Matabhanga Kholishamari village panchayat, so she could participate in the world's largest election exercise. Most in the district will vote in the first phase on the 19th. Around 13 lakh voters in Maharashtra above 85 have the option to vote from home if they did wish. Kishtaya Ashalu Mothurbaina, who's 100 years old, cast her vote for the Lok Sabha elections under the home voting facility at Sironcha, situated at the border of 3 states, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh and Telangana. 86-year-old Kishtaya Lasamaya Komera from the same village has also cast his vote at home. In Bengaluru, voting from home is underway from today till April 18th. 95,128 people above 85 in 3 Lok Sabha constituencies of the city will participate in the process. 6,206 persons above 85 and 201 differently abled persons have registered for postal voting. In Karnataka's Tumkuru, voting from home started from 7 am for those above 85 and the specially abled. The voting process is being carried out under the leadership of the Metropolitan Corporation Commissioner, with officials going door to door.
ಮುಂಜಾನೆ 7 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೋಮ್ ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. 4 ತಂಡಗಳು 4 ರೂಟ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಪ್ರತಿ ತಂಡ 35 ಹೋಮ್ ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಏನು ASK ಪಾಳ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಲೇಬರ್ ಕಾಲೋನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದು 2ನೇ ಮತ. ಅವರು ಅವರ ಅನುಭವ ಹಂಚ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಮತದಾರರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ.
In Arunachal Pradesh, 27 senior citizens exercised their right to vote during home voting in West Kameng district of Arunachal Pradesh on Tuesday. Officials on polling duty visited homes in Bomdila, Dirang, Kalaktang and Trizino Buragao constituencies of the West Kameng district. Senior citizens have expressed their gratitude.
मेरा उम्र हो गया 94, तो गवर्नमेंट का मेहरबानी से कई वोट डालने ने बना है, कुछ गवर्नमेंट देश के वोट लिया है, बहुत खुशी लगा है, बहुत खुशी लगा है.
For any democracy, ensuring that the last man reaches the voting booth to cast his vote is a responsibility. Allowing seniors who struggle to do so because of age and ailments to vote from home is something the world's largest democracy can be proud of. An NDTV Bureau Report.
And in political news now, the BJP has sent invitations to 25 countries to witness the world's largest elections. In fact, 15 nations have already confirmed, including Nepal, Bangladesh, Mauritius, Sri Lanka and some African countries as well. It is the BJP's initiative to witness their campaigns.
For the first time in the history of electoral politics of India, Bharatiya Janata Party has invited various political parties across the globe to come to India and have a first-hand experience of BJP's campaign. We have invited to more than 25 political parties and so far received confirmation of 15 political parties, mostly in the neighborhood, but also from some Far East Asian countries as well as from the African countries.
And well, moving now to our special focus on NDTV, what seems to be an irreconcilable difference between West Asian countries and the West. Well, now an attack by Iranian forces on Israel seems inevitable. In fact, the US has said that in the next 24 hours or so, an Iranian assault on Israel is possible. This as a cargo ship was seized by Iran as well, and there were 17 Indian nationals who were on board this cargo ship as well. The US White House spokesperson, in fact, has reacted to it as well, saying that we strongly condemn the seizure of the ship by Iran. Remember, the US has also rushed additional military troops to protect Israel and has vowed complete support to Israel as well. But now, this has been a conflict in the making, but an Iranian assault on Israel now inevitable. And joining me on the phone line is Jonathan Rajiv. He's joining us live from Tel Aviv. Jonathan, what is the situation on the ground? Because, the Middle Eastern airspace is not safe anymore. World over, airlines have, decided to avoid the airspace. On the ground, what are the kind of preparations that Israel is making to brace for this unprecedented escalation in the conflict with Iran?
Israel is of course, on very high alert, concerned of a possible Iranian retaliation of what Iran claims is an Israeli assault on its consulate in Damascus some 2 weeks ago, which killed some top commanders in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Israel is on very high alert, preparing for any kind of attack which may come from Iran itself, may come from Iranian proxies. There are many Iranian proxies in Lebanon, in Syria, in Iraq. And the ship that you mentioned, which was seized, it was on its way to India. As you mentioned, it had some 17 Indian nationals on it. And the ship is partly owned by an Israeli businessman. Iran has been threatening for weeks now to retaliate to that attack. Is the seizing of the ship, which I say again, is partly owned by an Israeli businessman. Is this an Iranian retaliation? Perhaps. There are some reports in the Persian Gulf suggesting that Iran has said that this is its retaliation for that attack in Damascus. There's no official confirmation of that, but this may be the case. Israel, in any case, is not taking down the level of alert following that attack, even if this is eventually the Iranian retaliation and it's not on Israeli soil. Israel still regards it as something very serious, as disturbing the maritime corridor along the Strait of Hormuz, which is a very important corridor as far as commerce, as far as oil shipping, and therefore tension, of course, remains very high.